The wind bit through her coat as if it were made of paper, not wool. Her boots were scuffed, the soles nearly worn through, but she walked with quiet dignity. Emma hadn't eaten since yesterday morning, and even then, it was only half a sandwich she'd found left on a park bench. Her stomach growled, but she was used to the sound now. Hunger had become a companion, not an enemy. What hurt more than hunger was the way people looked through her, as though she were invisible, or worse, inconvenient. Still, today, she had made a decision: she would knock on a door. The houses on Oakridge Lane were nothing short of majestic. Behind tall gates and manicured hedges, lives were lived in luxury that Emma couldn't even imagine anymore. She used to have dreams like that once, but dreams are a heavy thing to carry when you're just trying to survive. She walked up the stone steps of the largest house at the end of the lane and knocked. Her hand trembled. A maid answered. "Hi," Emma said, her voice soft but steady. I'm not asking for money. I'm not trying to scam anyone. I'm just hungry. Could I clean your house in exchange for some food?" The maid hesitated. Then a voice echoed from within. Deep, commanding. "Let her in." Emma's breath caught. The maid stepped aside, and Emma entered the warmth of a house that smelled like vanilla and polished wood. She blinked, not just from the sudden heat but from the sheer size of it all. Then, he stepped into view. Tall, sharply dressed in a cashmere sweater and designer slacks, Nathan Caldwell, tech mogul, billionaire, and household name, stood at the base of a curved staircase. His gaze landed on Emma. And he froze. The maid glanced nervously between the two. "Sir?" she asked. Nathan didn't answer immediately. His eyes widened, not in judgment, not in pity, but in recognition. "Emma," he whispered. She frowned. "I'm sorry, do I know you?" He stepped forward, slowly, as if she might vanish. "It's me. Nate. From Jefferson High." Emma's knees almost gave out. Nathan Caldwell had been her best friend in high school. They'd shared notes, dreams, and late-night phone calls. They'd planned to conquer the world together before life, cruel and indifferent, pulled them apart. After her father died and her mother fell into addiction, Emma had disappeared from school, from town, from everything. She remembered the day she left. She had never said goodbye. Never looked back. "Nate," she whispered. He nodded, eyes glassy. "I looked for you," he said. "Years. I even hired people, but it was like you vanished." Shame burned in her chest. "Life got hard. I didn't want you to see me like this." Nathan exhaled shakily. "You should have called me." Emma looked down at her worn boots. "I didn't think I mattered anymore." In that moment, the silence between them was heavier than any words. Then, Nathan did something she never expected. He walked forward and embraced her. Not the awkward, polite hug of a stranger trying to be kind, but the fierce, desperate hug of someone who had found something precious again. "I don't care what happened," he said, voice cracking. "You matter. You always mattered." Emma broke. She hadn't cried in months, maybe longer, but now the tears came, and she couldn't stop them. For a long time, they just stood there, two people who had once been children with big dreams, now reunited in the most unlikely way. Nathan led her to the kitchen and made her sit. He prepared food himself, much to the bewilderment of the staff. Fresh soup, warm bread, fruit juice. She ate slowly at first, then hungrily, as the warmth returned to her body. He sat across from her, just watching. "I built this company," he said quietly, "but I lost a lot along the way. I always thought if I made enough money, I could buy back the things that mattered. But now I see, what mattered was sitting across from me all along." Emma shook her head. "Nate, I'm not who I was. I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to be anymore." He leaned in. "Then let's figure it out together." You don't have to do this alone. The next few weeks changed everything. Nathan set her up with a private room in his home and helped her get new clothes and medical care. He didn't parade her around or use her story for sympathy clicks or media points. Everything he did came from a place of genuine care. Emma, for her part, worked hard to rebuild her life. With Nathan's help, she got therapy, went back to school part-time, and eventually started a non-profit for women who had fallen through society's cracks, just like she once had. But the true miracle wasn't in the things that were given, it was in the friendship rekindled, in the belief that even in our lowest moments, we are not invisible. Years later, during the opening gala for the Emma Grace Foundation, Nathan gave a speech. Cameras flashed, people applauded, but his eyes found Emma's in the crowd. Once, a girl knocked on my door and asked to clean my house for food. That same girl taught me what real wealth looks like. It's not in the walls of your home or the numbers in your account, it's in the hearts you touch, the lives you lift, the second chances you give. The crowd was silent. Then the applause came. Thunderous. Deserved. Emma stood there, no longer broken, no longer hungry, not just for food, but for hope. She had found it. And she had given it back to the world. Because sometimes, one knock on a door can open 1,000.